The Golden State Warriors are once again at the center of the NBA conversation, and this time the focus is on a surprising but intriguing name, Al Horford. Reports indicate that the veteran big man is on the verge of joining the Warriors, a move that could reshape their roster and bring much-needed depth to the frontcourt. At 38 years old, Horford has built a reputation as one of the smartest and most reliable players in the league. His ability to stretch the floor, defend multiple positions, and serve as a leader in the locker room makes him a valuable piece for any contender. For Golden State, the question is simple: can Al Horford be the missing piece to keep their championship window alive? When we talk about Horford, we cannot ignore his long track record of success. From his years in Atlanta to his key role with the Boston Celtics, Horford has proven that age is just a number. He continues to contribute at a high level, particularly on defense where he has consistently battled against some of the league's top big men. For the Warriors, who have struggled to match up with elite frontcourt players like Nikola Jokic and Anthony Davis, Horford's presence could be critical. His ability to guard bigs while also spacing the floor with his shooting gives Steve Kerr an option that the team has been lacking. But signing Horford isn't just about his individual skills, it's about fit. Imagine Horford playing alongside Draymond Green. Both are excellent defenders and communicators, capable of anchoring the defense and directing younger players. On offense, Horford's ability to hit threes would open the floor for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Even more importantly, his veteran IQ would help stabilize the team in critical playoff moments. This is exactly the type of player Golden State usually targets: experienced, versatile, and unselfish. Of course, no conversation about the Warriors is complete without discussing Jonathan Kuminga. The 21-year-old forward has emerged as one of the brightest young talents on the roster. Last season, Kuminga showed major growth, increasing his scoring, attacking the rim with confidence, and improving defensively. However, his journey hasn't been without frustration. Reports over the past year suggested that Kuminga was unhappy with his inconsistent role and minutes under Steve Kerr. While he has remained professional, there's no doubt that he wants a bigger opportunity to showcase his potential. This creates a dilemma for Golden State. Do they commit to Kuminga as the face of their future, or do they use him as trade bait to acquire veterans who can help Curry win now? Several teams, including the Sacramento Kings and Toronto Raptors, have reportedly expressed interest in Kuminga. His trade value is high, and with Horford potentially joining the roster, some wonder whether Golden State is preparing to shift its focus away from youth development and back toward maximizing the final years of the Curry era. It's a delicate balance. Steph Curry is still playing at an MVP level, but he is 37 years old. Draymond Green is also aging, and Klay Thompson's decline has been one of the biggest stories around the team. Meanwhile, Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Brandon Podziemski represent the young core that could carry the Warriors into the future. The addition of Horford sends a message: Golden State is not ready to rebuild just yet. They are still trying to compete now, even if it means sacrificing some of their young assets. From a strategic perspective, Horford makes sense. He is a player built for the playoffs. His defense, decision-making, and experience in big games will immediately help the Warriors. Against the Denver Nuggets, Horford gives Golden State another option to slow down Jokic. Against the Lakers, he can match up with Anthony Davis while keeping the offense flowing. And in small ball lineups, he provides shooting that keeps the Warriors' spacing intact. This versatility is exactly what Steve Kerr loves. But how would this affect Kuminga? If Horford signs, Kuminga's minutes at the forward position could shrink, unless Kerr fully commits to giving the young forward a bigger role. Fans are already divided. Some believe the Warriors should keep Kuminga at all costs, arguing that he represents the future and could blossom into a star. Others believe that now is the time to trade him for immediate help, especially if the team is serious about giving Curry one last shot at a title. The debate is heated, and Horford's arrival might accelerate that decision. Looking at the bigger picture, the Warriors are at a crossroads. The dynasty years of 2015 to 2019 are long gone, but the core is still intact. Curry remains elite, Draymond still brings intensity, and Kerr still preaches ball movement and defense. However, The Western Conference is brutal. The Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns, and even the Sacramento Kings are all pushing forward. If the Warriors want to keep pace, they must make bold moves, and Horford could be the first step. Beyond Horford, rumors continue to swirl about other possible trades. Could the Warriors make a run at a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo or Pascal Siakam? Could they target someone younger like Lauri Markkanen? These are the questions the front office must consider. Kuminga will be central to any big deal, and his future with the team remains uncertain. For now, though, the spotlight is on Al Horford and the possibility of him wearing blue and gold. As we wait for official updates, the excitement among Warriors fans is growing. Some see this as a brilliant move that could give the team one last shot at glory. Others worry that it's a step in the wrong direction, sacrificing youth for short-term gains. Whatever happens, one thing is clear: the Warriors are not done. This offseason could define the future of the franchise, both in the Curry era and beyond. Spotlight with Jonathan Kuminga again at the center of trade buzz. After weeks in limbo, new reports say sign-and-trade talks with the Sacramento Kings have been reignited. But there's no certainty yet. Today we bring you the freshest developments, the stakes, and what could happen next. This week, sources close to both teams confirm what many suspected: the Warriors and Kings resumed discussions about a possible sign-and-trade involving Kuminga. The two sides had largely paused talks over the summer, but momentum appears renewed. According to reports, Sacramento's offer remains largely unchanged: Malik Monk plus a lottery-protected 2030 first-round pick in exchange for Kuminga. Yet Golden State has pushed back. Monk's contract, along with fit concerns, is a major sticking point. With training camp near and a deadline looming, urgency has crept into what was once a drawn-out standoff. Kuminga is currently tethered to a $7.9 million qualifying offer for the 2025-26 season, which he could accept to become an unrestricted free agent next summer. His agent, Aaron Turner, has publicly pushed for scenarios that include a player option in any extension, giving Kuminga more control over his future. The deadline for the qualifying offer passes October 1st, meaning a decision must be made very soon. Golden State's reticence to accept Sacramento's offer stems from multiple factors. First, Malik Monk's contract is seen as burdensome. Second, the protections on the Kings' first-round pick make it less appealing. Warriors want more certainty of value. Third, Golden State's long-term flexibility may be jeopardized if they absorb a heavy contract in Monk or otherwise limit cap maneuverability for future free agent pursuits. Even as discussions restart, insiders say no significant progress has been made. Kuminga's camp has not remained silent. Turner has made clear that his client is prepared to take the one-year qualifying offer if no extension meets his demands. Taking that route brings risk. If Kuminga plays under a low-salary one-year deal, any injury or drop in performance could hurt his next contract. But it also gives him veto power over trades during that season, a valuable tool he may see as giving leverage. Segment 5: What Warriors and Kings Want. From Sacramento's side, the interest remains strong. They see Kuminga as a young, versatile wing who could fit their timeline. But they have held firm on protections for their pick and used Monk as the centerpiece of their offer, unwilling so far to offer better terms. Golden State, meanwhile, would prefer to keep Kuminga if they can or execute a sign-and-trade that returns value they deem acceptable. Front office voices suggest that if no deal is struck, the Warriors will move forward with the roster as is, betting on internal chemistry and existing talent, suggesting that Kuminga could be part of a package to shed salary and bring in immediate help. None of these deals materialized, but the message was clear. The story of Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors is one filled with hope, talent, and rising tension. Kuminga arrived in Golden State as a raw but incredibly gifted prospect, drafted 7th overall in the 2021 NBA Draft. He was seen as a future cornerstone, a versatile forward with elite athleticism, defensive potential, and the ability to grow into a star under the mentorship of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. The Warriors believed he could represent the bridge between their championship core and the franchise's future. In his first 2 seasons, Kuminga flashed moments of brilliance. His ability to slash to the rim, defend multiple positions, and bring energy off the bench stood out. Yet, inconsistency and limited playing time created frustration. Steve Kerr, known for trusting veterans, often kept Kuminga's minutes tight, especially in critical playoff games. This decision sparked debate within the Warriors fan base. Was Kerr slowing Kuminga's growth, or was Kuminga not fully ready for the responsibility? By the 2023-24 season, the friction grew louder. Kuminga openly expressed dissatisfaction with his role. Reports surfaced that he felt undervalued and underutilized, especially during stretches where he performed well but still see his minutes cut in favor of veterans. His athletic prime was approaching, and being stuck behind Andrew Wiggins in the rotation only fueled his frustration. For a young player eager to prove himself, it was difficult to accept that his development seemed to be taking a back seat to the Warriors' pursuit of squeezing out every last championship run from their aging core. Meanwhile, the Warriors were at a crossroads. Their dynasty, built on the brilliance of Curry, the defense of Green, and the shooting of Thompson, was showing cracks. Thompson's decline, Green's suspensions, and Curry shouldering too much of the offensive load highlighted the urgent need for youth. Kuminga represented that injection of energy, but the question remained, was Kerr willing to trust him fully? And was Kuminga patient enough to wait? Tensions escalated when reports suggested Kuminga's camp was considering his long-term future. His agent hinted that if his role didn't expand, he could explore opportunities elsewhere. Rival teams circled, knowing his talent could flourish in a system built around him. The Warriors, however, were torn. Trading Kuminga could bring in win-now pieces, but losing him could also mean giving away their future cornerstone. The 2024-25 season has only intensified these questions. Kuminga's performances have been more polished. His shot selection has improved, his defense more disciplined, and his confidence undeniable. Yet, the inconsistency of his minutes remains a storyline. Warriors fans argue that Kuminga should already be the second option behind Curry, while others believe Kerr's tough love is preparing him for bigger responsibilities. Still, every game where Kuminga shines but sits late in the fourth quarter adds fuel to the controversy. The Warriors' struggles this season have made Kuminga's situation even more critical. With the team battling in a competitive Western Conference, every decision feels magnified. If Golden State leans too heavily on veterans, they risk alienating Kuminga. If they hand the keys to him too early, they risk mistakes that could cost them games. It is a delicate balance, and so far, it has left both sides unsatisfied. For Kuminga, the pressure is real. He knows the NBA is about opportunity, and windows don't last forever. Every year he sits behind veterans is a year lost in proving he can be an all-star. For the Warriors, the dilemma is equally sharp. Can they transition smoothly from the Curry era to a future led by Kuminga, or will they mismanage the situation and see him thrive somewhere else? The narrative now seems to be heading toward an eventual split. Unless something drastically changes in Kerr's rotations or the Warriors shift their philosophy, Kuminga's desire for a bigger role may push him to another team. And if that happens, it will mark a dramatic turning point, not just for Kuminga's career, but for the Warriors' dynasty. Losing him would symbolize the struggle Golden State has faced in trying to win now while building for the future. For now, Kuminga remains in a complex position, too talented to ignore, too ambitious to wait, and too vital for the Warriors to easily trade away. His story with Golden State continues, but the ending feels uncertain. Will he be the torchbearer of the next Warriors era, or will he become the star that slipped through their hands? Jonathan Kuminga's story with the Golden State Warriors is one of both promise and tension. Drafted in 2021 as the 7th overall pick, he arrived with the reputation of being one of the most athletic and explosive forwards of his class. The Warriors, then fresh off years of championship dominance, saw him as the bridge between their aging dynasty and a new generation. But 4 seasons later, instead of blossoming into the face of the franchise, Kuminga now finds himself described by insiders as absolutely miserable in Golden State. His frustrations with limited playing time, inconsistent trust from the coaching staff, and stalled contract negotiations have brought the relationship to a breaking point. This script explores, in detail, the issues tearing both sides apart, and why separation now feels inevitable. When Kuminga first joined the Warriors, expectations were high. His athleticism, defensive potential, and flashes of scoring made him a tantalizing prospect. Yet, playing on a team led by Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green meant minutes were scarce. Head coach Steve Kerr prioritized veterans who understood his complex motion offense and defensive schemes. Kuminga's minutes often fluctuated wildly. He could play 30 minutes one night and sit on the bench the next. For a young player trying to build confidence, this inconsistency became a major source of frustration. Still, he accepted his role early on, believing patience would pay off. But as the seasons rolled by, the patience began to wear thin. Despite these struggles, Kuminga delivered undeniable moments of brilliance. During the 2024-25 regular season, he averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists in about 47 games, even after missing 2 months with an ankle injury. In the playoffs, when Stephen Curry was sidelined with injury, Kuminga stepped up in a big way. Against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he averaged nearly 21 points per game over a crucial 5-game stretch. These performances showcased his ability to shine under pressure and fueled his belief that he deserved a larger role. To him, those flashes weren't anomalies. They were proof he was ready to be a cornerstone player. To the Warriors' coaching staff, however, they were still glimpses rather than consistent production. As reports surfaced in summer 2025, the word "miserable" quickly spread across headlines. Sources close to the player revealed Kuminga felt trapped in Golden State's system. He wanted to play freely, to be trusted as a star, but instead felt like an afterthought behind veterans. For a competitor with ambitions of becoming a multiple-time All-Star, riding the bench in key playoff games was more than frustrating, it was humiliating. The label of being absolutely miserable captured not only his emotions but also the growing sense that this relationship was nearing collapse. The tension boiled over into contract talks. Entering restricted free agency, Kuminga became the focus of Golden State's off-season. The Warriors, wary of luxury tax penalties, offered deals they considered fair. One proposal was a 3-year, $75.2 million contract with a team option on the final year. Another earlier offer had been 2 years for $45 million. On paper, these looked like lucrative deals. But for Kuminga, the fine print mattered more than the numbers. He wanted a player option, granting him the power to decide his future. He wanted protections against being traded without his consent. He wanted to feel like a value piece, not just a tradable asset. His rejection of these deals sent a strong message: control mattered more than security. The standoff introduced a risky but bold option: the qualifying offer. By accepting a 1-year, $7.9 million contract, Kuminga could play out the 2025-26 season and become an unrestricted free agent in 2026. This would free him from the Warriors' control entirely, giving him the chance to test the open market. But the gamble is dangerous. One injury, one per season, or another year of limited minutes could tank his value. Still, the fact that Kuminga and his camp are seriously considering this option shows the depth of his dissatisfaction. He would rather risk millions than feel trapped in a situation where he has no voice. From the Warriors' perspective, their caution is understandable. Kuminga's talent is unquestioned, but his consistency is not. His perimeter shooting remains streaky.